Hey there everyone, welcome back to the FreeThinkDojo. For today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to initially call it Free Think Fridays, but I don't know if I'll continue doing this, but wanted to try something out here. I wanted to make sure that you guys are also involved with this channel as well. I don't want this to just be about me and the dojo. This is also our community. So what I'd like to do is show how much you guys mean to me and take any questions or video ideas that you guys leave in the comments and make it into a video. So the very first person to have the honors of a Free Think Friday goes to Media Guy 4997. Thank you for commenting down below and watching all my videos. I really appreciate it. He says that he wants to see a top 5 facts video about Free Think Dojo, and I'm like, why not? Let's do it. So, without further ado, if you do like the video today, feel free to subscribe for more content like this, but also comment down below and you might be chosen next for a Free Think Friday. The first fact I wanted to share today is actually a little bit about me, but also about kind of the origins of this channel. And the first one is I record all gameplay you see on the original consoles that they came on. There's a lot of people out there with these commentary channels that have these PCs, whether they're high-end or just basic, and they basically download, a Modern Warfare emulator or something like that, and they get mods or they have bot lobbies. But for me, I'm playing these games that you see on the Xbox 360. And I know for a lot of people, you may not even have access to it. You may have it in your attic collecting dust. But for me, I have all my retro consoles, at least as many as I can fit and actually play, sitting on my work desk. To my right, I have the Xbox 360. To the left, I have a Nintendo 64 and a Wii. And it's kind of crazy because my desk is what I also use for work. So I kind of like to surround myself with that nostalgia feel. And it's also nice when I'm done with work, I can just boot up any of the consoles and go from there. But when I first started this channel, I wanted to make sure that I had this authentic feel to it. For anybody that uses PC to run these games, I have nothing against you. I would love to have a PC because it would make it so much easier, not only for keeping maintenance of everything, not having to use disks and keep those clean and know where they are all the time. But for me personally, I love the authenticity of playing on original controllers, having, the boot up sounds and just all that nostalgic feeling rushing back. Fact number 2 is that I played competitive club soccer for over 8 years growing up. I played sports pretty much from when I was about 5 or 6 all the way up to about, through high school and even in college. And I was always kind of dabbling between baseball, basketball, football, soccer, you name it. And soccer was something I just got very in tune with. I was very short and stout growing up, but my legs were always very big. And that was mainly because of soccer, but also because I was very active as a kid and running all the time. And, I always loved the idea of making a more technical sport my sport. I like hitting and, playing football or shooting a basketball or whatever it may be. But for soccer, it just seemed to fit who I was at the time. So yeah, I played in a club for a long, long time, pretty much from about 3rd or 4th grade all the way up to high school. And it was a very big part of my life. And I traveled around and played with teams all around the country. And it was a really good self-esteem booster at the time. It was keeping me healthy, and I really enjoyed it. Now, obviously, when I got to high school, I switched over to martial arts and track and field. And that was something that just kind of, was a big part of my life back then. I always love and cherish those times, but I'm glad it's over. For fact number 3, I'm tying back to YouTube here, and I actually used to have 3 different channels on YouTube back in the day. Out of the 3, one of them is still up. I was basically doing skits with my friends back in early high school, and it was just, kind of a temporary type hobby for a little bit. One of them was a scary video channel where I was basically filming I don't know if you ever heard of Marble Hornets or Slender Man, like camera-based type videos. I was filming some of those with my friends, and that was also in high school. That channel is no longer up, unfortunately. And then I had another channel that I did in college, my freshman year, where it was just me and my friends doing more skits and also like vlogging my college life and things like that. That lasted for about half a semester, and the videos are no longer up, but the channel still is. It's always funny remembering all of the times when I was on YouTube in the past. And honestly, I'm cringing most of the time, especially with the college ones, because I was way too old at that time to make certain videos that I made. But also thinking back when I was in early high school with my funny channel, it was so fun to do that. And I always cherish those memories with my neighbors and my friends. And, it kind of gives me that melancholy feeling just thinking about it. I will say, coming back to this channel, being my fourth official channel, it kind of feels like it's finally in tune with who I am. I feel like a lot of the channels I made in the past were just what I liked at the time or, what my friends were doing. But this one kind of aligns with my life, the therapy type talks, and it's kind of speaking my mind when I work from home all day. So I definitely like this one probably the most out of all of them. For fact number 4, I know this is a big question that I get asked a lot doing martial arts, but I have never been in a street fight before. Every time I tell people I practice martial arts, they always ask me, have you ever used your stuff on somebody, or are you a weapon or whatever? I remember I was at a college party once and this guy asked me if my fists were registered weapons. And at the time I was like, sure, I don't know. But I've always found it amusing when people ask those types of questions because it's like they're trying to look for some badge of honor that you're holding above your head. But at the end of the day, street fights are just chaotic messes that could get somebody hurt or worse. So I typically try to just stay away from those. Most of my fighting experience has been within controlled sparring environments. Sometimes they have gotten bloody and bruises and black eyes and all that type of stuff. But typically it's just mainly training. It's exercise. It's learning how to fight but not using it type philosophy. So it's always been just that. And street fights to me have always been something I just try to avoid because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to show off for anybody. I just want to go home safe and hope you do as well. That being said, though, I have been in a few instances where it had escalated almost to that point, but typically I try to diffuse it and move out of the situation as quick as possible. One funny scenario is another story about all this is when I was in college, I went to a bar with some of my students and they found this really drunk guy and they told him that I wanted to fight him. He got a little flustered and was getting up, obviously super intoxicated, and I just was playing around with him and we, ended that before it got too serious. But yeah, never been in a street fight. Don't really care to, and that is that. For my final fact of this video, I wanted to bring up something that happened to me, and I think a lot of people would either get amusement or shock out of it. But I have been pepper sprayed and tased before. Now, it's not what you think. I used to work security for a sheriff's office. It was one of my first jobs out of college, and it was when I moved over to Missouri, where I currently live. And for the training, if you've ever been through something like this, you know what I'm talking about. But you have to be exposed to certain tools that you might use against criminals or whoever you're going up against if you have to. And most of those are pepper spray and tasing. So to be able to use those things and get a certificate of completion for it, you actually have to be exposed to that, which means you have to be tased for 5 seconds, you have to be pepper sprayed and then put through certain scenarios while fighting the pepper spray, such as arresting somebody or punching something. And I can tell you right now, it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life so far. And I'm glad I'm not in security anymore. And hopefully I never have to go through that again. I actually have a video on my phone of it. It's pretty funny. I might share it eventually, but not at the time. But it's just funny thinking back of, what we do to get jobs. And especially nowadays, would you be able to get tased or pepper sprayed to be employed? So there we have it, folks. 5 facts about FreeThinkDojo. Hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate, once again, MediaGuy4997 for suggesting this idea in the comments. Once again, guys, I'm not quite sure if I'll do these every Friday. It's mainly just if there are video ideas that you guys comment down below or any questions to make a video about. I'll probably have a Free Think Friday, but definitely let me know what you guys think and what you feel about all the facts that I put out today. Once again, though, I appreciate every single one of you sticking around in the Free Think Dojo with me today. Hope you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. Like the video, comment down anything below. Also share with your friends so we can grow the dojo, and I'll talk to you guys next time.